Fear is the prison most people never escape, not because the walls are too high, not because the doors are locked, but because the prisoner has convinced himself he does not exist. Yet the truth is simple. Rating is nothing more than a story you keep telling yourself. Your mind, or be a slave to fear. This is yours, always been yours. Man and woman who ever achieved. Lincoln in his darkest nights, after 10,000 failures, took building an empire of steel faced the same. Silence today, fear. Fear of enough. These fear are in the dark corners of your mind. Planting doubt, there should be faith. Hesitation be boldness. But listen to, fear has no the disciplined mind. The disciplined fear examines it and reduces it to the disciplined mind and what Napoleon Hill declared a century ago, that our thoughts are the arc of our destiny. If fear rules, fear builds your future. If faith rules your thoughts, then faith builds your fortune. Think about this. Every invention you take for granted today was once the laugh of the crowd. When the Wright brothers said man could fly, the world mocked them. Henry Ford insisted he would build a motor car for the common man. His own engineers told him it was impossible. Walt Disney described a land of imagination and castles in the middle of a swamp, shook their heads and called him a dreamer. What separated these men from the masses was not wealth, not history of their own mind. They would be slaves to fear. They chose masters of thought. And their fate, your now, is the mirror of dominant thoughts. If you're with worry, if your nights by doubts, if you find hesitating at the edge of opportunity, it is not the world that has enslaved you, it is your own mind. You can chain your doubt, or you can liberate yourself with vision, but you cannot serve tutors. You will either rise or bow down. The first thing, your mind is recognized fear is a liar. Fear magnifies the shrinks your confidence, paints illusions of faith do not exist. How many times have you had, only to later realize you feared was nothing more than smoke and shadow? How many doors have remained closed you never dared to knock? Fear feeds on hesitation. Hesitation is the assassin. But there is a weapon more powerful, a force that has lifted men from purity to immortality, a power that has taken ordinary people and carved their names into the of history. That weapon is belief. When Hill, whatever the mind conceive and believe, it can achieve. He was not off the law of life. Belief, wishful thinking. Belief, blend certainty, forged in the fire of persistence. Belief is the refusal to surrender. And the world calls you mad. Believed in unity, when itself apart. Edison believed in light when darkness mocked him dozens of times. Oprah Winfrey believed in her own worth when the world she had none. Every story of triumph is the story of someone who bore in their vision than in their fear. So, I ask you, what are you believing in? Are you believing the critic who says you cannot? Or the voice says you must? The battlefield is not the world. The battlefield is in win it and you will win in life. Lose it and you was a slave. Chain out. Everything begins in the mind. Every building that scrapes the sky. Every fortune that changed a family. Every cure, every invention. Every movement that shook the world. All of it began first as a vision. That vision was carried not by luck, by circumstance. Belief. Belief is the bridge between imagination and reality. Dreams collapse under the weight of doubt. Dreams become destiny, not a luxury, the root of achievement. Others did not build the airplane. Because resources, they built it because they had belief. Tom did not bring light to the world because failure avoided him. Belief refused to abandon him. Henry Ford revolutionized industry. Because evil, he did it because belief outlasted rejection. And yet, their true power. Because their belief hijacked by fear. They believe in limit. They believe in the of others. They believe in the success is for someone else. They do not understand what you see in what you hold with imagination. You will one day hold it. Think about this. Single who in history looked impossible until it was. Flying was impossible. How electricity power was impossible until it wasn't. Talking across oceans was until it wasn't. What changed? Not was the human mind. Someone believed so completion that reality had no choice but it. Napoleon Hill taught that belief mixed with desire and persistence of fortune. He said faith is the eternal it gives life, power and action to the impulse of. That is not philosophy, that is a law. The same law that turned Carnegie into a title. The same law that turned a farm boy named into the Wizard of Light. The same law that built Disney's empire of imagination. You carry that law within. You may not have seen it yet, but it is there waiting to be claimed. The tragedy is that most people see visions in their dreams of wealth, of freedom, of contract. They dismiss them. Let fear convince them those dreams are illusions, impossibilities. but between fantasy and create. Hold the vision with certainty, act on it with discipline. Reality will conspire to make it tangible. Look at the hands of those who have achieved. Palms, you will not only see buildings they built, the art they painted, the movements. You will see of belief. The skyscraper was a sketch. The empire was once a the symphony was once a sound person could hear. Carried it from the unseen to the seen. So I ask you, what do you when you close your eyes when the world is silent? What picture burns inside your mind? That picture is not random. That picture is your calling. And if you dare to believe in it, if you dare to hold it with unshakable conviction, it will become real. The only question is, believe enough to claim it. Is not passive, sitting back and hoping. It's an active force, a discipline. In every day to align your thoughts with your vision. To ignore the critics. Yourself every morning that you are the architect of your destiny, and your mind is the blueprint. Reward the doubtful. It does not patient. It bends to the man who believes so their vision that obstacles be. The world has no choice. Yield to the one who refuses to serve this truth. The wealthiest place on earth are not the banks or they are the graveyard where dreams were never carried them into life. Ideas that could have changed silenced by doubt. Books never written. Songs never sung. Never lived. Buried them. But not you. Not if you Not if you choose to master the that separates history makers from forgotten belief. See it with certainty. If you hold it with faith. If you one day hold in your hand. That is not theory. That is